I love Redcliffe. I love Bayfield. I love the school, and I love it when you can see smiley faces on our kids. So so with that, I want to say miigwech and thank you.
Miigwech, Marvin.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marvin. We'll continue on with community comment. Next, we'll have Craig Hoopman.
Morning, everyone. I'm Craig Hoopman. I live at 32785 Star Route Road. It's good to see some faces again, be back in this building. I like what Marvin said. I liked his comment where he said, you know, it's time for the tough to get going. Well, it's time. We need to get these student athletes back in some form of normalcy. And Marvin also said you want to see smiling faces. If you take a look around and you look at our kids, I don't see a lot of smiling faces. We've been through this since last March. I'd like to be a little bit enlightened, I guess, on the Bayfield County order. I mean, when they're saying on a 25% spectator into WIAA, why are we not doing that? I mean, we can all walk into Walmart and shop all day long at Walmart. You can go to Target, you can go to Peterson's Food, you can go to Andy's IGA, and social distance, wear your mask and be respectful. I guess I'm at a loss. I don't understand why we're not starting baby steps into giving these kids some form of normalcy. You know, right now, the cure is worse than the cause. These kids are losing these gaps in times that they will never get back. They will never get back. And people, this is our future. These students and our kids are our future. They will be taking care of us. We were very blessed to go through and have our time through our school years and formed bonds and formed these things that will be in our hearts until the day we die. These kids are being stripped of this. So I'm just asking the board to please, please, please take into consideration that. And I understand, and I would be on board 100% if Bayfield County and everyone else was saying no and shutting everything down. And we did have a serious COVID problem. But, you know, from what I'm seeing, what I'm reading, and what I'm hearing, they're allowing some form of getting back in getting these kids and everyone back to some form of normalcy. So I'd just like you guys to take that into consideration and please, if there's capacity in these gymnasiums, to figure out a number of tickets, you know, I understand if there's smaller gymnasiums, there's bigger gymnasiums, just take into consideration in the future to allow some of the family members to come and see these kids and help these kids move forward. Thanks for your time. Good to see you all.
Thank you, Craig. It's really good to see you too. We'll move on. We have another community comment in this room from Lynn Cornelius. Please come to the microphone.
Hi, I'm Lynn Cornelius, 41 North 2nd Street, Bayfield. My daughter's Isabella Sr. Thank you for having me, hearing me out and calling this meeting. As a school member stated, there have been a lot of misinformation going around, and I agree. From day one, we've been told one thing. We get to that point, we are told something different. The school board and mitigation team allow some things and not others. Adult volleyball and Red Cross blood drives are open to the public. School is open, but parents aren't allowed in a limited capacity. And to go further, we are told we can't even go to another school and follow their guidance. Bayfield County and especially Redcliffe Health Department have been instrumental in where we are today. From the very beginning, Redcliffe Health Department has led the charge against the virus. They were the first to have mass testing sites and the first to administer the vaccines. And they have my sincere thanks. The Redcliffe Health Department was instrumental in the guidance of opening the casino. And that was back in October 2020, from as far back as I can, or if not sooner, is what the Redcliffe Health Department gave me this morning. I've heard school board members continually say we're not like any other schools. We have a vulnerable community. And yet a casino can open to the public, but a school cannot. This is so much more than athletics. Let's talk about a tier. We've heard about the tier from September and what we were going to follow. We have 0 to 3 cases in the school. We will operate at 4 days a week. We have 0 cases in Red Cliff. Red Cliff has administered 70 complete Pfizer vaccines, 200 complete Moderna vaccines, 300 first dose Moderna vaccines with mass rollouts to complete those on Tuesdays and Wednesday. Bayfield County is sitting at 0, but I believe you have a health department member that said that they will have numbers. We are on the right path. Your job as school members is to make sure my child gets the best education she can get and make sure it's a safe environment. It is not your job to protect her out in the community. That's my job. That's Bayfield County's job, and that's the healthcare department. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. That's all the papers I have in the room. If there's anyone on the virtual line that would like to speak, please turn your camera on and let us know who you are. We'll acknowledge you to start. Can you go that way, Randy? Oh, Chris, can you scroll to the right on our large screen?
Well, I'll go first if nobody else will.
Please start, Grace.
My name is Grace Livingston, and I live at 37350 Daly Road. I have a grandson who is a senior at Bayfield High School, and I have other grandkids that go to Bayfield High School. And I appreciate how the tiers are working, like Lynn said, but I disagree that the school board of Bayfield, and I'm sure you all have got my email I sent out. I have not got any response, but I'm glad they have this meeting today. I feel that the Bayfield School board has overstepped the boundaries of another school district. Like Lynn, Billy, and her husband had talked about, if the other schools are allowing it, I don't feel that you as Bayfield School Board have the right to dictate what other schools do. I feel bad for all our athletics because I'm sure it's very hard for them when they go to play a game and they don't have any fans to be cheering them on. And I know how well and proud our players like it when our cheerleaders, well, I'm a cheerleader actually at the basketball games for no matter what grade. It could be a middle school. If my grandkids are in it, I'm there. I support my grandkids in sports, and I've missed that. And then you get told you can go to the game, then you get told you can't get a ticket. And I've been communicating all week with South Shore School District on this whole issue. I was lucky to get a call back yesterday because a South Shore member gave a ticket up. So I am going to this game today, but I feel bad now for Billy and her husband who won't be able to go see Wyatt as a senior and their last year of basketball game. It could be their last game tonight. And I feel for them for not being able to go. And I just think that this is horrible, what you have decided, or whoever decided this, that it is horrible that you would do this to our children. They have been fighting since we went on this COVID-19 virus thing. I have grandkids that aren't making it in school because they don't learn that way on the computer, and they are suffering that way. And now they were suffering, and there's a lot of kids that are so upset that they won't be able to go. There are parents upset that they won't be able to go to the game tonight. So I wish that you find it in your heart today to let our athletics go to the basketball game tonight to see their seniors and see their kids play ball, because that's all we have right now, this little bit of opening up. I am a compromised person because of my cancer and stuff, but I feel so bad that this is happening to us as a community. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Grace. Is there anyone else who would like to share on the virtual end?
I will.
All right, please go ahead, Billy.
Yeah. I'm Billy Gordon. I don't have any children playing right now. Whew, I just got to take a breath from all this emotion I'm hearing. God, it's like I'm starting to tear up here. I don't even have any kids at that age. But I am a Bayfield alumni for sports, and I do have a nephew playing. We reside in Bemidji, Minnesota, and we just welcomed our newborn baby. So I do have somewhat of a clue of what it would feel like by the time they're that age. We just planned this trip to come up to Bayfield to see the game because we had previously heard that there were going to be fans allowed to tournament games. So we have a newborn baby that we're going to welcome Dante with at the, visit his game. So we're planning to leave tonight. So we just got word that, like there was no tickets or whatever available. So that just kind of threw us in a loop and kind of threw us like off course a little bit of our planning and stuff. So as far as like making the decision to allow fans back, I do understand like there is a pandemic going on and all this, and we can't speak for everyone's kids, or anyone like the student staff that could be exposed. I just do request that any of my colleagues here next to me that want to attend as well to be respectful and do maintain the social distance guidelines and maybe carry your own bottle of hand sanitizer, especially just being at someone else's gymnasium. I do think it's time. I feel like businesses are reopening, and Governor Walz over here in Minnesota and Governor Evers over there in Wisconsin have been opening businesses. And then I just want to speak from like the student standpoint. I mean, I feel like it's just like for first year players, I mean, to show them that maybe this is abnormal. I mean, we all know experience talks a lot more than just words or words of experience, like about experiences. So I feel like it would be really like critical to first year players too, as well as the seniors. I mean, first year players to see the atmosphere and realize, maybe like if it's influencing the decision to join next year, that to see that, this is an abnormal year, and maybe inspire some confidence within, people to, hey, and maybe I can come back next year. Maybe this will be a whole lot different, So, I mean, that's all I really wanted to say. I mean, I do respect this meeting being called and being answered so quickly. So I just wanted to give thanks to that. That's all I really have.
Thank you, Billy. Is there anyone else on the line who'd like to share?
Yes, Lisa Defoe, Simon Clarenbo's mom. I'm under Janelle's.
Yep, go ahead, Lisa.
I yet have not seen my son play ball yet. He's a senior. He was my only child for 11 years, and then along came his brothers. He will always be my baby, and he only has his mom. He don't have a dad. For me to be there is the most important thing to him. For his mother to be there to watch him ball his senior year, that is the most important thing to him. And from going from a high honor student to failing the first because of school. He's the kid who has to learn in school. Like my mom said, there's kids and mine was one of them. And now he's backed up. And it's not easy on these kids. It's really not. I have another son at home that is very special needs. And it's really hard for him to get onto that computer and actually log in because he's not that kind of kid to sit there. And his ADHD level is beyond. He has to learn in school. So for my senior not to have his mom at his basketball game is the most devastating thing in his life. He doesn't even have a dad. Come on. And then his mom can't even go watch him play basketball. You guys are just like shutting these kids. Like the crowd is what them kids want. The crowd is what the kids need, that crowd. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you, Lisa. Is there anyone else? Stacy, you have your camera on. Go ahead.
Hi, Stacy Lapointe, 26845 Star Route. My son is Philip. I guess I'm just a little emotional. It's just such an emotional topic. And I don't think I can really add, anything that the people before me, haven't said. I want to thank you guys for reconsidering this. I think you've all gotten my email. And it's been a hard year. And, we've all tried to play by the rules up until this point. And, I think the numbers are showing where we're at. And, for, I guess, the seniors, especially for the season, just to end, on this kind of a note, it's not anything that's going to be memorable or the time that they're going to get back. And, they've given up a lot this year. I mean, my kids have given up trips, they've given up different sports, holidays. And I just think we're at a point where it's safe to do so. We've all been doing it for a year. We all know how to do it. And I guess I'm just asking the board to reconsider it with limits. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Stacy. Madeline, would you like to go?
Yeah, my name is Madeline Lapointe. I'm a alum from Bayfield. I now go to school in Eau Claire. As everyone from the community knows, my family pretty much lives for sports. Me and my older sisters were all 3 sport athletes. I'm about to graduate from college this semester. And looking back, one of the few things I remember from high school is sports. Like, that was it, Don't remember the school dances, don't really remember prom, but like, sports was it. And I've had to listen to my little sister, who's typically, as everyone knows, a pretty happy-go-lucky kid. She's been pretty crushed this year. I watched my little brother get up, what seemed like every day to go to the hall to practice basketball, and I can't imagine as a senior waiting that your entire life for your senior year and not getting to have your parents there. It's crushed my siblings. It hurts me to see it. I can't imagine it. I missed my rugby season this year. And, Magdalene, I think you can attest to that. How hard would that be for you to miss your senior year and to not have your parents see? I just really, really hope that the Bayfield School Board decides to let the parents go. I really think you guys would give just a little bit of kick of hope for the kids. So I really hope you reconsider.
Thank you, Madeline. Victoria, would you like to go?
Yeah. Hi,
Alrighty.
everyone. My name is Victoria Kihite. I'm a Bayfield alumni. I graduated last year in 2020, and I had the school shut March 13th, 2020. That's a day I'll never forget. And at first I was excited because yes, no more school, but the realization that a lot of the memories that I had anticipated for so long weren't going to happen or weren't able to happen was really, really hard. And for the class of 2021, I got a lot more out of my senior year than they have. And I really couldn't even imagine losing my entire senior year and not being able to be there with my class. because even with what I did have, it's still very emotional to think about. And I think we did lose a lot from just the short amount of time that we lost. So, and as a student, I know like the joy of like having a crowd at games and the joy students get from going to just being able to see someone out there cheering for you while you're playing, someone to look at, someone to keep your fire burning as a motivation. That's really important. And I think from all perspectives, at least giving these kids one game to have some supporters at would be the least that you guys could do. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Victoria. Kelly, would you like to go? You're on mute.
Nicole, if there's no one speaking against this, I wonder if it might be in everyone's interest, because I think the board may be inclined to go for this and let people get ready to go to the game tonight if that's possible.
Well, I also think as long as we're going to be speaking here, the other night at the school board meeting, when we got recommendations from Bayfield County and from our own committee, and they were all in favor of us going to back to letting audiences in the gyms, I was the only one that argued for that. I was ready to vote and let it happen, but then I got shot down. You know, I just feel bad that we get recommendations from outside sources and we don't go with it. If we're not going to go with the recommendations, why the hell do we have them in place? That's all I got to say.
I'd like to speak just to that a little bit. First of all, I want to say that I've been on the school board for a lot of years, and I'm only on this board every month meeting for many years because I care. And so I just want to make that clear that my commitment is always from a place of my heart and caring about what's the best for this community, all of our communities, and our staff, and our students, and our families. And I believe that most of the other board members are here from a place of compassion. We get a very small stipend for the amount of time that we put in to come to these meetings and listen. So please, as parents, know that these decisions and this place has not been an easy one. It has not been easy for any of us. What I'm hearing today is a lot of grief, not just about this game. We are all in deep grief about what COVID has taken away from us. COVID has taken away things for us for a whole year. I haven't seen family or grandchildren myself for a year, except on computers. So we all are grieving. And it's like this moment, it's like all that grief is coming to a head. And all we know is, we want it to open up faster. We want it to happen faster. I want to go see my grandkids today, but I can't do it yet. So the other thing I want to say from some of the emails I received and the board received is that the fact that other spectators were allowed at tournaments did not come from the school board. The school board is in place to set policy. And the school board made a policy decision in January. And then a decision that came from Bayfield County. Bayfield County does not make decisions for the district. Bayfield County and Red Cliff Community Health Center and other health people, our own nurse, give the school board information. And we also hired this year, we have hired a COVID expert to help us glean through that information. And we've spent months working with those people and those organizations to make sure that we're on board. So when we heard that there were people being allowed to go to tournaments before our February meeting, and we had no input about that, it was against our policy. So I apologize to all of those who felt like we once said it was okay, and then we said, no, it's not okay. That's not how it happened. So we had to reconsider on our last school board meeting about what the policy should be. And what we're still hearing from our expert and from others who are out there saying that where there's still variances, these other mutant strains or whatever out there, is there's still danger. And it wasn't an easy decision. It's not, it's about our community, and the casino, that's one thing. I can choose if I want to go to the casino, but as a parent, as a high school student, I'm going to go visit my grandparents or my auntie or somebody else, and there's no choice if I'm spreading the COVID. So I'm in favor of opening this up a little bit, but up to this point, there was, we didn't have that kind of information. And now we have some, and we are hearing great grief and great grief and great despair from our families. And we want to address that. I would love to say, yeah, let's open it all up. Everybody just go, do what you want. But I'm afraid we would see some backlash in our communities. And that's a hard place to be. So I sure appreciate the pain that you have. And I'm glad that we have this meeting and a chance to reconsider. But please know that every board member here cares deeply about you and your students and this community. Thank you.
We're not asking to open it all up. We're just asking to start it. I think that if we don't do something, we can sit here and say that, that we're going to keep everybody safe and we're not going to do anything. Craig, he could come out of the building here today, go out on the road and get run over by a car. We're not going to be able to protect everybody all of the time, but we got to start someplace.
Well, Larry, if you'll make a motion, I'll second it.
Okay, you got it. The motion to go ahead and let spectators in, I think at the recommended amount of 25%.
Does that equate to about 4 tickets per athlete? Is that?
I have no idea. It could be different in different schools. Like somebody said here tonight, there are different size gyms, so some have a bigger capacity than others.
Okay, well, I'll second the 25% limit.
Is there discussion? I'd be willing to support 2 to 4 tickets per student until we find out how this is going to work as a starting place, so that there's a set amount that people can know in advance and it's not changing all the time. I'd rather see us go to 2 tickets or 4 tickets to begin with.
Can I ask
Well,
Jeff?
how about if we say 25%, but no more than 4 tickets per athlete right now? No more.
Jeff Gordon, are you out there? Can you give us a
25% will be the
update on that?
cap, and no more than 4 tickets per athlete.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Yeah, I do have a quick document we could show, and we'll look at this in 2 parts. We have the tournament game, which is tonight and possibly tomorrow if they win. That recommendation from the WIAA is 4 tickets. That's throughout the state, 4 tickets. And then you have our own school games that are coming up in March. And that recommendation, could it be anywhere, like Deb said, from 2 to max 4? I guess it all really depends. This is what area schools are doing. Washburn, prior to the new Bayfield County order, they weren't doing it, but now once their staff get vaccinated, they will. They're going to allow 4 tickets for the tournament. South Shore, I'll just go through three of them, our northern or county schools. South Shore, they're going to start they're going to go do the 4 tickets for the tournament. And then when March 1st rolls around, they're going to offer 2 tickets per player. And then Drummond, they are now offering 2 tickets per player. So South Shore and Drummond have reduced it to 2. However, in the tournament, it's 4. I hope that helps.
I'd be willing to follow those recommendations of 4 for tournament and 2 for regular.
Larry, how are you on that?
Yeah, I could include that in the motion. You know, it's a start.
Okay, I'll go with that in the second also.
In discussion more, is that going to include regular games from here on till whenever, or is it just till?
That's two tickets.
Those would be 2 tickets then.
Okay.
Starting in March.
Okay.
Until we get, until our March meeting, and we can determine how things are going and see what the county is saying and what the Red Cliff Community Health people are saying, and look at all of our partners again and reevaluate. And that's what we've been doing every meeting.
Okay, with that being said, then I think we need to put that on our monthly agenda, that we follow up with this on a monthly basis then.
Oh, yeah.
For
We
the
have
athletic
been
part.
though, Cindy. Okay.
To clarify, once we move to the 2 tickets, is that also allowing 2 tickets per away student's fan, or, you know, every athlete that's coming to play at a home game? I just want clarification.
So if I may,
Jeff.
I'm sorry. So if I may, yeah, the away games are typically determined by the host school. So if we go to Drummond and they offer 2 tickets, we will do the 2. If we go to Mellon and they offer 4, then we would do the Mellon 4. That they would determine the number of tickets at that level, if that helps.
But we would keep to 2 tickets when they come to our school until we changed a decision.
That is
The
correct.
other question I have, Jeff, is I believe at the last meeting you shared some protocol about how the contact between parents or public and student athletes is pretty limited. I mean, it's very limited, that public people aren't interacting closely with student athletes at all. Is that correct?
Is this during the games we're talking
During
about?
the game, before and after, yep. when
Yeah, all
students are-
of the gyms, Deb, all the gyms have seating arrangements. So when you walk in the gym, they'll have an X social distance in the gym where people would sit. Families obviously can sit closer together, but the social distancing is part of the whole process. So there's not a lot of
But
interaction.
they're not interacting with the team or with the students aren't going, no, okay. Or
There's no,
afterwards.
yeah, there's no
Okay.
concessions. They march you right in and you have your seating area.
All
So
right.
Jeff, could you possibly come up with your, a plan of what it would look like and bring it to the next board meeting so we can get a visual on that? And
Sure.
And I have a question. My name is Grace Livingston. If this is going to pass, can you let us know today how we can get our tickets?
Grace, they'll contact you after, but we have a motion on the floor, so we can't allow outside discussion, but we can have the athletic director contact you all. So the motion on the floor is to allow 4 tickets to the tournament games, 2 tickets to any regular games here at our district, and away they decide with no more than the 25% or however they're deciding that.
Yeah, I guess we need clarification on that. Schools outside of the county, do they restrict to 25% their spectators?
Well, it
Jeff?
appears they're limiting by number, 2 or 4 or 0, according to Jeff's chart.
Yeah, I'll share an example. We have a seating capacity of around 450 to 500 in Bayfield. And so this past summer, we determined that we had up to 48 or 50 seats available at the Bayfield gym. So that 2 ticket would work for Bayfield, and the larger schools with the larger capacity, their number could increase to that number, which they could offer more tickets.
Wouldn't it be just as easy just to go by that guide that Jeff presented to us today?
Yep.
Well,
Yeah,
let's do that.
I think the
Yep.
question is just what are other districts using to make their determination? Are they just using sheer volume and size, or are they going by the county order? Or are they saying no more than 4? So we're saying whatever they decide we're good with, basically.
Well, if we go by the guide that he put in place, it wouldn't make any difference with how many people can go, and there'd be just 4 tickets. Is it just for the players
Yes,
and parents? Well,
players,
players.
yes. Players, and the players would determine within their family.
So if we went by that, it wouldn't make no difference.
Correct. So if we have 10 players on our roster, that would be 40. And then the additional coaches would be 44. Well, it would be 2 tickets. So if we had 10, it would be 20 for Bayfield parents. And then it would be another additional 4 for the coaches. So you're looking at around 24 for our team. And then the other team would be very similar to that. So that would match our 48 in our gym capacity.
I like the idea of capping it at 4 just across the board. And my hope is that whatever district we play against also is capping it at least at 4. And in some situations saying 2 because they have a smaller gym. Or, you know, if we're saying we're going to cap it at 2 for our home games. But it is nice if what we're saying matches what the other team is saying. And that also if us and the district we're playing against, and I understand we don't have control over that, but if the district that we're playing against is making an effort to keep the numbers low so that it can still be safe and that we can continue to do this. I understand the desire for a crowd, but a crowd is exactly what is not recommended. So it's that language that makes me uncomfortable. I am very compassionate towards the parents that are saying, I want to see my senior play, or I want to see my kid play. You know, so a student allowing a couple family members, 2 to 4 family members per game. And if the other team is doing that as well, that feels good to me. But this is why there's been so much discussion around this, because the crowd does not feel good to me. That does not feel safe. That feels like we're putting everything that we're doing in jeopardy if we move into a crowd mentality. And I'm sorry that that's not possible this year.
Yeah, and I think, Magdalene, that we're not, I don't think the motion would allow that. I don't think we're saying, you know, that if there's a school that says we don't care how many, I still think we wouldn't go there unless they're going to respect that 4 limit. And they may, like us, limit it to 2 at home games if we think, you know, we can only handle, you know, 48 or so, you know, people in the bleachers. So I think the idea of a, you know, kind of maximum of 4 away games, depending on the host, and maximum of 2 at home games per athlete. That's what I thought the motion was. Larry, is that?
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
I have a question. No, I know Jeff had stated that it was going to be like 2 for students and staff or coaches. Are we allowing the coaches, or are we just talking about the athletes?
Well, I thought we were just talking. I thought we were just talking about the athletes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the coaches are, not that they get tickets, it's just they're going to be there. Right.
Yeah, right.
Well, the coaches will be there, but the way I heard Jeff was saying that they would be allowed 2 family members also, and I just want to clarify that.
No.
If I may clarify that, Cindy and Glenn, the coaches for the tournament games, the coaches are allotted tickets too. The regular season games in the motion, you could void that and just for regular season games have player tickets.
Oh, coaches are allowed 4 tickets for tournaments to
For
bring their
tournament,
family?
that's my understanding, yes. But for the tournament, or for regular season, we could determine just players.
It's 4, 8, 12, 12 more.
Just for point of information, the capacity of our gym is 468 people. So Joel, help me with the numbers you just told me. So 25% is 117 people.
So how does that work when you tell someone you can bring in 2 people per player and that excludes 117?
Hey, Beth?
I think if we go along with what Jeff put in front of us here today, that wouldn't happen.
I think we're willing to take what Jeff has in front of us, and we're not going to push the 25% at this point.
If
We're
I
going to
could,
take this.
I just want to clarify how we got to the 48. If you have to go 6 feet for social distancing. And as we went across the bleachers, 6 feet, there's a bleacher below it. So there's a bleacher below it. So you still have to be 6 feet from the person on top of you. So that's going to reduce the amount of capacity from that perspective. And that's where that number came from. Thank you.
Jeff.
Hey, Jeff, could you post that schedule someplace?
Yes.
So everybody's on the same page?
I still want to get clarity on the away game because it's going to come back to us again that if another school is allowing more than 4 per athlete, if they're allowing the 25% capacity and we're saying, no, we cap it at four people when our team is there, there's no way to have accountability over that. So unless Jeff has a mechanism.
Randy, can you put up that other slide? Yeah, Nicole, that's a good question. And this is the information I received from the other districts. None of them during the regular season will exceed that 4. Now, this is what was given to me. So when we go visit those schools, their allotment is 4 or 2. If you go to the far right column, like Drummond, they won't max 2. Their max is 2. Ashland will be 4, Mellon 2, Solon 2. So they're all in that relative 2 to 4 because their gym sizes are the same as ours outside of Ashland. So all of our gyms are very similar in size. So we're all very close to that number.
So I'm understanding the motion that's on the floor is going to what Larry has referred to is that we will abide by this chart until our next meeting.
Yes.
For
Yes,
home.
yes.
Okay.
All sports.
All sports.
All question.
Yeah. Question been called. We have a motion on the floor by Larry and a second by Glenn. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously, Linda. Thank you, board.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, parents,
Thank you.
uncles, grandmas.
And you let them know how to get their tickets, right?
Yeah, we need an adjournment, please.
We're done?
We need an adjournment, yeah.
Motion adjourned.
Second.
We have a motion by Cindy and a second by Larry to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor, please say aye.